Ever wondered if there are certain things, if you learned them once, it would change your life forever? I believe there absolutely is. And today I'm going to share with you 7 of those things that are definitely going to make your life and your business better. You know what I've found throughout my career is there's levels to this stuff. You know, when I first started, there were certain things and certain skills that by having those foundational skills, it got me to this level. And then there were certain things that if I learned how to do those, it would take me to a whole other level. So what I want to do today is I'm going to do a little bit of a mix here, but I'm going to talk in a way that hopefully gets your creative juices working so that you can begin to think of it. What is it exactly, the skills that you need to develop or develop at a higher pace or a higher level that are going to help you take your business to that next level? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through, I'm going to start with this. Number 1 is trends. Now, when I say that you need to learn how to identify trends, it basically means this. There are trends that are happening around us all the time. There are trends of momentum as far as certain types or pockets in our market, whether that be a specific subdivision, a specific price point. There are certain trends as far as more inventory coming on and understanding what does that look like and how do I spot that early. Then there's certain things we can understand about marketing trends, what's working right now that can help us serve our clients at a higher level. So let me talk to you about understanding how to begin to identify trends is the first thing you got to do is you've got to have some historical perspective on whatever it is that you're talking about. So if we're talking about market trends, you have to understand how many homes were for sale this time last year, how many homes were for sale this time last quarter, how many homes sold last year, what was the average sales price. You have to have a foundational basis of the data, so to speak. And I'm just using that one for an example. If we're talking about marketing trends, let's talk about what has worked in the past, because if you're looking at a place where you're going to want to build your personal brand or you're wanting to market properties, study what it is that other people are doing right now. One of the things you can do if we're talking about marketing trends is you can go in and you can look at other people in other markets. For instance, if you were to take a realtor that was in another city that does as a very similar audience and you were to look at their Reels numbers or their comment numbers on their grid, so to speak, on Instagram, it's going to tell you what type of content was trending very well for them recently. Then you can apply it in your market. You see, when you become a student and understand exactly what's happening and what's trending, then all of a sudden now you can put yourself in a position where you're not just, as Wayne Gretzky said, you're not just going to where the puck is, you're going to where it's headed, which gives you an ability really to outperform anybody else in your local market. Number 2 kind of rolls out of identifying some of those trends that are out there is the second thing you need to learn to do is to ask good questions. So what are some of the things that you can do to ask people that will help you understand not just trends, but will help you understand how to serve your clients better? So let's start and let's break this down a little bit. One of the things that I love to do is I like to listen to what it is that great communicators say or how they communicate. One of the things that I've done is that I will watch when I'm watching someone speak, or sometimes I'll just watch people, and maybe those people that are maybe a little more magnetic personality-wise, and I'll watch what they do. I'll watch what it is that they do. What are the questions they ask people? Here's some of the things for building rapport, for instance, because listen, we're in a business where we're trying to build rapport very quickly. If I'm with a couple, for instance, one of the things that I will first ask is, how did you guys first meet? Now listen, even if they were fighting in the car before they got there to see me, when they think back to the first time they met, there's going to be a little bit of an excitement there. It gives them also, by asking questions, the ability to talk about their favorite subject, which is them in most cases. So how do we ask those questions? If I'm out and we're looking at houses, for instance, and we've got a group of 3 to 5 houses, I will ask the question. I will say when we get to the second house, let me say this, we're going to see a number of houses today. Did you like the first house better than this one, or did you like this one better than the first house? And then when they said, well, we kind of like this one better, tell me why and what it was specifically that you did. Now, when we go to the next house, I'm going to do the same thing. We've already narrowed it down to 1. I'm going to ask the same question. If you were picking right now, would you prefer to make an offer on that previous house or this house? And why is that? Now, I'm asking those questions. If you're sitting with someone who's thinking about selling their home, let me ask you a question that I like to ask a lot of people is there a time frame when we have to get this done by to make sure that it doesn't inconvenience you? Hey, if we were talking about this, which is more important? Is it getting the highest price, or is it making sure that you're moved in time for your son or daughter to be in school this next in the fall? You see, when you start asking good questions, you get better information. And those that are seeking, truly seeking to get better information, information by asking the right questions are going to be able to serve their clients at a higher level than ever before. The next skill to learn is to how to show appreciation. Listen, this is a world we live in where basically you get back what you give. So if you're wanting to have people appreciate you, if you're wanting to have people that will send you or think well of you and want to send you referrals, they have to feel appreciated in order to do that. So a couple things and ways we can develop the skill a little bit is, number one we live in a great time. So if you're wondering, how do I show more appreciation to my clients? Simply go to Google or to YouTube and type in, how do I show my appreciation to my clients? Or you could go into ChatGPT and utilize the artificial intelligence to say, give me 20 unique ways that I could show my real estate clients how much I appreciate them, that it will be memorable to them and will give me the opportunity to deepen my relationship. You see, when you ask those types of questions like we talked about before, now we've got artificial intelligence that will help you. Now we've got Google, we've got YouTube. All the answers you need are right there. But ultimately, when you come to a place where people feel that you appreciate them, they will absolutely go out of their way to send business to you. Next up is something that's relatively new, but it is understanding how to find keywords that are being searched. Now, what I'm talking about here is from a marketing perspective, understanding the skill of how to find out what it is that people want to know, and then providing them with that is going to absolutely give you the ability to scale your business. I'm going to give you a couple different ways to do this. Number one is if you go into Google and you type in and you start typing something, if you stop or pause, what will happen is it will begin to show you the searches that are there. So I'll give you an example. I'm on 30A area, in the 30A area. If I go in and do 30A real estate, and then I stop, Google will give me the 10 to 12 most searched terms around that. This is a great way for you to begin to do that. Or homes for sale in your area, and then see what the other suggestions are that come up. Or things sellers should know before selling their home, and then it's going to give you a list of the other search terms that people that were searching for that would also look for. You know, we get to a place where we're absolutely doing the research and we're giving people what they want. Everything else is going to fall in line and you're going to see your business grow. Next up is something that I mentioned a little earlier, and that is network magnetism. What is it that you can do where people want to be around you? Now listen, this is something, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, that you can develop this skill in a way that gives you that ability. Some people do it in different ways. I'm going to tell you what I do is I really like to watch who it is and understand who those folks are that I should be networking with. So this is what I like to do in networking situations, whether that be at conferences, whether it be at local events, chamber of commerce events, whatever it is. I'll watch who it is in that room that people are going up to and they're introducing themselves to. And I notice that because that person who has everybody wanting to talk to them is probably one of the most influential people in that room. And odds are that is a person that builds relationships. So what I like to do is I like to go up to that person and just say, hey, listen, just wanted to come by and introduce myself. I don't think we've ever met. I'm Jimmy Burgess. And then once they say that, say, hey, tell me a little bit about what you do for a living. And once they tell me that, I try to find ways that I can add value to them. So, for instance, if they were to say to me, hey, I'm a real estate agent in this area, in another city or whatever, say, great, hey, I'm just curious, I like to ask this question, what's really working in your business right now? And then when they say something, I say, hey, that's awesome. Listen, I actually do these things. If you'd like, I'd love to send you over some examples of some of the postcards we're sending out so that hopefully maybe this helps just get some creative juices going for you. Or maybe there's some way that I could help your business, and I know by doing that, then obviously it's going to help me because you're going to share some ideas with me. You see, I'm building by giving. I want to give something. And then here's the last question you want to do when you're doing that is, when you meet those types of people, say, hey, is there anybody in this room that I ought to know that maybe I don't know yet? Odds are they're going to take you over, they're going to introduce you. See, when you become somebody that understands how to network in a room, and not only do you understand how to do this, but there is a tipping point where you become so magnetic because you're helping people and you see other people see you as someone that's influential. Now you've got that tipping point where all of a sudden now you've become magnetic as a resource and as a person of influence, not just in your local market, but in our industry. Next up is presentation prowess. Now listen, you have to understand, if you're deathly afraid of standing up in front of a group of people, this is something that by overcoming this, I promise you it's going to get you more opportunities. Now, you don't even have to do it in front of groups these days. I'm sitting here in front of a camera, and so this video is going to be seen by a group of people that maybe I don't meet in person, but it's giving me the ability to continue to get better at my presentation, because presentations are just like reps. It is literally, the more you do of them, the better you're going to get. And when I say presentation, I'm not just talking about public speaking. I'm talking about your presentation on your listing agreement. I'm talking about about presentation to a buyer on the value that you bring as we go into this new era in our business. Everything we do is about presentation. It's about presenting things in a way that people see the value to them. So what is it that you can do to develop this? Listen, if you're going to do public speaking, there's all kinds of just schools that are out there. If you're going to do it, whether it be social media or whether it be you're talking about presenting a listing agreement or a marketing proposal or working with a buyer, just do reps. You don't have to practice with your prospects though. Find somebody that you can practice some scripts with, you can role play with. The more you and better you get, the more reps you do, and the better you get at your presentations, that's absolutely going to take your business to an additional level that you can't even imagine. Last but absolutely not least is understanding how to negotiate at a higher level. Negotiation is not just about buyer and seller negotiation. This is every area of our life. This is negotiating with someone to make sure that you're at a place where you're getting those listings instead of someone else. It's making sure that your buyer that you're representing gets the best deal possible because you've developed those skills. It's understanding how to get those listings that you want in different situations and to negotiate the contracts for the highest price possible for your sellers. You see, negotiation is fundamental, especially going forward. The information is out there. Anybody can get the information on the stats, but who is it that they can know that they know will be able to negotiate at the highest level possible for them? This is one of those times where you are at a place where you can develop this skill and it will absolutely change your business forever. Go out, find the books like Never Split the Difference. Go out and find some of the things like we were talking about on Google or on YouTube and study the art of negotiating, and you'll absolutely be able to serve at a higher level. I hope these things have been helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.